Learn a little bit more factoring this week, and then next week we're going to start using that factor to reduce some large fractions and some complex fractions. But we've got to cover 2 more types of factoring. And today we're going to talk about the sum of cubes. Now we've done squares, factoring perfect squares. Today we're going to talk about factoring cubes. And there's 2 formulas you're going to need to write down. They're in your textbook on, this is lesson 76. So we'll be working through how to use 2 new formulas. So here are the 2 formulas and then a problem we're going to work through. So you're going to be given a problem with 2 terms, and they're both going to be cubes. This case, when we did perfect squares, they had to be 2 terms and it had to be a subtraction. But for factoring cubes, they can be plus or minus, but they're still only going to be 2 terms, okay? And if it is a plus, you're going to use this formula. If it's a minus, you're going to use this formula. So, sorry, the first thing we're going to have to do is figure out our A value and our B value. Now, in order to do that, you need to cube root everything. So, x cubed rooted is simply x. That's going to be our A value. The cube root of 27 is 3. That's going to be your B. So step 1, cube root both terms. That's how you get your A value and your B value. Okay? And then you just plug them in. So since it's minus, we're going to do A minus B, x minus 3, and then all of this. A squared, in this case A became x, A times B, so this is 3x, then B squared. B is 3, 3 squared is 9. And I'll write that right here so you can see. And that's it. That's the whole ugly thing is your answer. So step 1, cube root both pieces so you can find your core value of A and B, and then just plug it into the right formula, and then that's it. Don't redistribute anything, because if I work this backwards and I start redistributing, I'm going to end up back at my beginning point. I'm sort of disassembling this root by factoring it, okay? So square a cube root are your pieces, and then plug them into the correct formula. Let's get another one. All right, well, let's solve this one. So our first step is to solve for A and to solve for B. And to do that, I'm going to take the cubed root of 8x3. The cubed root of 8 is 2. The cubed root of x3 is x. 27 again is 3. So now I'm going to be using this formula. So I have A plus B. Goodness. And then I'm going to do A squared. So A squared is 4x squared plus AB, which means A times B, which gives me 6x B squared, which is 9. And I lied to you. This is a minus. I didn't lie to you. I just wrote it down wrong probably. The formula is a minus. I'm sorry. And then that whole thing is my answer, which is honestly looks way more confusing than this. But when you'll see some stuff next week that you'll understand why we are factoring out things and breaking them all apart. Do one more that I don't have pre-typed, but I just kind of wanted to do one more to practice. So let's factor x cubed minus 8. So step 1, find your value for A, and x cubed square rooted is x. 8 cube rooted is 2. I lost my train of thought. So cube root A and B, and then my formula says that the subtraction formula is A minus B, so x minus 2, A minus b times b squared, nope, a squared, which is x squared, plus ab. Now when I say ab, technically it's x2, but this looks way weird. We want the coefficient written first, so just change it to where the coefficient is written first. And because those are being multiplied, x and 2, I can rearrange the order. Plus b squared, which is going to give me 4. And that whole big old thing is my answer. So here are your formulas. Remember, step 1 is to cube root everything to get your a and b value. And then just plug in your things, your values you found to those formulas. Just pay attention to your signs because they're easy to skip over. You're going to do numbers 2, 3, and 4. Checking that. Hold on. 2, 3, yes. 2, 3, and 4 on lesson 76. Now, 2 is like this. 3 is just solving systems of linear equations. 4 is solving absolute values. So if you have, you're going to have something like this. That's a 3. And you're going to solve for x. So remember what you have to do is you have to split this to a positive and then just in a negative. And then solve, so you'll have 2 answers on those absolute values. Hopefully that triggers your memory. If not, let me know. All right, that's it.